Judy note, the global currency reset started internationally at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday 1st of July. China released the GCR and started exchanges in the Far East that exceeded over 500,000 exchanges. According to Fleming's military intel contact in the U.S. on Thursday evening 2nd of July, funds were in accounts and fully accessible to start Tier 4B. The release of secured websites, and thus personal 800-S to obtain your appointment to exchange currency and redeem ZIM, could happen at any moment from now through Monday 6th of July, although Bruce said it would more likely happen on Tuesday 7th of July. Groups and paymasters were reporting that they would have appointments to exchange/redeem at least by Monday 6 July, which was 120 days before a presidential election of 3 November, that would fit requirements that elections be held within 120 days after announcement of Nazara, expected over this 4th of July weekend. On Wednesday 1st of July, U.S. Treasury officials were doing a massive cleanup in Zurich of questionable people trying to take advantage of the reset. They had moved their operations from the U.S. Treasury to Zurich, though were now under arrest. The Thursday, July 2, 2020 New Hampshire arrest by the FBI of Jeffrey Epstein's confidant Ghislaine Maxwell, was a huge step toward ending the political, Hollywood and global elites' international child sex trafficking ring. USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada trade deal became effective July 1, 2020. Canada would have a financial blackout from Thursday 2nd of July to Thursday 9th of July. U.S. Congress would be leaving beginning Friday 3rd of July to take another vacation, the Democrats lasting through August. Friday 3rd of July would see President Trump make important announcements at the National July 4th celebration at Mount Rushmore, likely about the U.S. dollar returning to a gold standard and implementation of a debt forgiveness law, Nazara/GCR. If you wanted the contract rates on your currency exchange, you must make your appointment within the first 7 days after the secured websites came out. ZIM redeemers should try to set appointments within the next 4 days. We would have 30 days to exchange at the contract rates. It was believed the general public would begin exchanges at the new international rates around mid-July. A Thursday, July 2, 2020 The Big Call, Bruce, thebigcall.net 712-770-4016 PIN 123456#. 1. Sources were telling us that the global currency reset started internationally at 12:01 a.m. Wednesday 1st of July. China released the GCR and started exchanges in the Far East that exceeded over 500,000 exchanges. 2. In the U.S. on Wednesday 1st of July at 2:15 p.m. groups and cores all started, though it was just in emergency and travel funds that was paid out. 3. There was a possibility of Tier 4B being notified of the secured website and thus 800-S Monday afternoon 6th of July, though more likely it would be on Tuesday 7th of July. 4. We would see some announcements from Trump and celebrations either Friday 3rd of July at Mount Rushmore or Saturday 4th of July in Washington, D.C. Those announcements would likely be on Nazara/GCR, a return to the original republic, common law, a return to the gold standard and the new U.S. note. 5. Overnight last night Wednesday 1st of July 65 individuals were arrested. Beginning this morning Thursday 2nd of July 168 high-value arrests would take place and complete by midnight Friday 3rd of July. 6. There were 2,200 small banks not connected to the QFS that have become the target for siphoning monies. At 12:05 this morning Thursday 2nd of July arrests of those doing that were completed. These banks were getting higher servers to be completed in 6 days. 7. The ZIM currency was on par with our dollar as of 1st of July. 8. Iraq had done everything they needed to do as of 1st of July. 9. There was a coin shortage going on because the U.S. Treasury was collecting silver coins to melt down to make new coinage in silver half dollars, quarters and dimes that should come out this weekend. 10. We are going to get new gold coins in high denominations: $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 gold coins. They are not collectible but would be used as legal tender. B. Recent GCR/Nazara/Jazara events. Attorney General Bill Barr has confirmed that an intelligence community-instigated and Comey-led investigation was spring-loaded to go after President Trump and ignored all exculpatory evidence, a very serious accusation that could culminate in charges of treason against big-name players including former U.S. President Barack Obama. Obama has also been accused of, in 2015, authorizing millions in U.S. funds for the Chinese Wuhan laboratory to develop the COVID-19 virus. Banks were reporting a shortage of Federal Reserve dollars and coins as they continued to take U.S. coinage out of circulation in preparation for the global currency reset and new silver coinage. UK Chase Bank has frozen millions of accounts. Are they going through a reset? On Tuesday, 30th of June, Trump's press secretary reported they had arrested over 1,000 protesters or Antifa members believed to have committed crimes. By that same date, the military reported they had completed over 16,000 arrests of high-profile deep state operatives, thought to include politicians, D.C. agency bureaucrats, well-known Hollywood stars, mainstream media journalists and news anchors who had been active in crimes against children, treason, trying to stop the RV, redeeming Zim for the cabal and crushing the economy for the purpose of negating Trump's chances of being re-elected. Overnight Wednesday 1st of July, 65 individuals were arrested. Beginning Thursday 2nd of July, 168 high-value arrests would take place and complete by midnight Friday 3rd of July. Coincidentally, also on Tuesday 30th of June, the Ellen DeGeneres and Jimmy Kimmel TV shows were cancelled, while Oprah Winfrey negated all plans through the end of 2020. Several months ago, the U.S. military were actively investigating a tunnel beneath the ocean where children were thought to have been smuggled from Oprah's private island to Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island. See John B. Wells on Caravan to Midnight interviewed General Flynn 3 years ago. D. AI is programming people to go after President Trump. Cyrus Parsa, there are 3 rudimentary levels of attack on President Trump by the use of AI coding, and AI algorithmic manipulation of people's thoughts, viewpoints, emotions and brain chemistry that span the entire media, Google and various other platforms connecting people with smartphones and IoT and the various apps generated by artificial intelligence. This does not exclude Chinese operatives, intelligence agencies and other big tech entities that purposely designed AI systems and created teams to shift and engineer people's perceptions against the Trump presidency and the nation. A COVID pandemic? Really? Must-watch video on the deep state's pandemic, the biggest mass media cover-up in history. In 2015, directed by the deep state, Obama authorized millions in funds for the Chinese Wuhan laboratory to develop the COVID-19 virus. They later timed the virus for release in an election year to cause a nationwide economic shutdown. The deep state had plans for massive corrupt mail-in voting and worse, artificially inflated COVID fatality rates that in New York, New Jersey, California, Michigan, and Pennsylvania included genocide of the elderly by moving them into nursing homes instead of hospital treatment while naval hospital ships sat empty. Natural News, a professor and infectious disease expert from Italy, says that the Wuhan coronavirus, COVID-19, is already fizzling out, and that a vaccine for it will probably already be obsolete by the time it arrives. The U.S. Department of Health, under blessings of the World Health Organization, has offered financial incentive to doctors and hospitals to diagnose people as having passed away from COVID, whether or not that was the cause. A multitude of doctors and nurses across the nation have publicly complained that they and their hospitals were being ordered to bypass typical treatment protocols and put patients with any sort of breathing difficulty on ventilators that could likely result in fatalities. International child sex trafficking. Thursday, July 2, 2020. Jeffrey Epstein's confidant Ghislaine Maxwell arrested in New Hampshire, FBI says. The upcoming Monday, August 3, 2020 was named Satanic Revels, sexual, oral, anal, vaginal, female ages 7-17. The monthly satanic holiday used the perpetrator's own children whom they tortured in sex orgies, baptism in a mixture of urine and blood and participation in human sacrifice, after which they forced the little ones to eat the flesh and drink the adrenochrome blood from the pineal gland of the traumatized victim. This information came from an occult calendar put together by professional therapists using accounts of their satanic ritually abused, SRA, clients. According to the calendar, such satanic holidays, celebrated at least monthly across the globe, were based on abuse so traumatic that it severed the child's developing thinking patterns to mind control them into multiple personalities in order for the perpetrators to have lifelong control over their victims. Please be aware of any satanic activities around you and report such to local authorities. Warn teens about the dangers of Satan worship, which always included participation in pornography, sex orgies and killing small animals as preparation for raping children and participating in human sacrifices at the higher satanic coven level. Since Satanists were known to infiltrate police and other legal entities, also fill out the ICE form below, detailing your observance, including your report to police and how they handled it. If you wish to join efforts in saving children from international sex trafficking, contact Tim Ballard at Operation U Underground Railroad. Exchange of foreign currencies, redemption of Zim bonds. The below was a compilation of information received about exchanging, redeeming and written in my opinion only. Official instructions would come out with release of the 800-S and could easily differ. June 9, 2020. Email from Frank Templeton of Templeton Collectibles. Zim bones and Zim notes refer to the same thing. Folks are expecting them to be treated like a bond. Reports were that dinar and dong were no longer available to buy until after contract rates were no longer available. 800-hash notification. Several Tier 1 banks would send out 527,000 plus emails to currency and Zim holders containing a secure website link and coded 800 number to call for appointments and obtain redemption, exchange information. The code was an individualized ID number connected to your social security number for you to take through the redemption process. Take that ID number to your appointment. Do not give out the coded 800-hash to anyone as it was connected to your social security number and personal banking account and could only be used once for your personal appointment. If you did not receive an email, then you could find a secure website on the websites as below. That secured website would have instructions on how to obtain your personalized coded 800-hash ID number for the redemption process.